you know, I think sharing about this kind of thing somehow should encourage other people. Because I'm going to keep working towards making positive changes. I guess one thing that it's really connected to, one huge thing that it's connected to, whenever I feel stressed out or emotional difficulties or obstacles or uncomfort, like I said, I resort to a lot of old behaviors often, but not anymore, significantly not anymore. I've learned to replace those habits and behaviors. That's what last year was all about. And I guess that's one huge part of why I'm mentioning this too, is because I've learned to make, for a few examples, physical exercise, physical activity, a huge part of my life. And it's a beneficial, positive part of my life. I've learned to make healthy eating and studying and self-education, some days slower than others because of this emotional experience that I'm having sometimes, and also because I'm still strengthening all these new habits and behaviors. However, point is, I'm trying to share that it's not necessarily all comfortable or all easy. It's not all simple, but I encourage others who are ready to make significant changes in their life. For example, with me, I'm getting older. I'm ready to become the young man that I know I'm capable of being, that I have been, and with a little bit of fine tuning and adjustments, could only shine like I never have before, because I've always been an excellent worker. And like I said, I could just either lie to myself or I could be honest. But truth is, I've had several jobs. I have had my my downfalls or my weaknesses, which I will admit. Like I said, I believe it's important to be honest. One of them being that often I would be late or I would call out throughout my work experience, throughout the last, let's say, 12 years of my life that I've worked, or 11 years, no, about 12. So that was definitely one downfall. I'd either be late or I would call out. But my work ethic and my skills, and that's a big deal to me. I do like to show up, and I do definitely take responsibility for that. I definitely do feel like that was not the best thing I could have done. But with that being said, there is a lot more to those, situations. But I have always been an excellent worker. So I've always known that I've been capable of a lot more. I've always known that I've been capable. I've always stood out at every restaurant I work at. I've always been, and there's also been other people who stand out, but there's always a lot less people that stand out. And that's just honest. Like I said, I could either lie or I could be honest, and that's the truth. And so I've always been very, very satisfied, grateful, appreciative of myself and the kind of worker I am. I've worked in restaurants for a long time. I always pay a lot of attention to helping others and to giving great customer service and jumping into other positions, no matter which position it is, whenever I can help, etc. And I've always done a great job. I love to, there's a lot of preparation that has to go in, that's involved with restaurants. No matter which position, you have to prepare yourself every day. I always like to keep my place organized and clean, etc. So I've always been a very outstanding worker. More often than not, a lot more often than not. So all this, I bring it up because there's probably other people that feel the same way. That's why I share all this. But I never had any strong direction or focus, intentional vision towards finally making changes. I was just doing the same thing year after year, going to a restaurant, being an outstanding worker, being frustrated by the environment, by the managers, by the lack of procedures, by the lack of organization, by the lack of passion, by the lack of customer service skills, by the lack of training, by the lack of quality, etc. And I never thought, okay, well, if you really are bothered so much by it, then do something. I don't know why I never thought about it in that way, but I'd go there, I'd make my money, I'd make my tips, I'd go home, and I did that like day after day, year after year, until finally I realized, wait, are you just gonna keep being bothered by these things, or are you gonna change something? And the only thing I can change is myself, and that's where I started to improve myself, and that's where I'm mentioning. So I started to read books, exercise, eat well, etc. But sometimes I would get off track, but I got better and better. So after a few years, now I've gotten really, really good at it. And but now work has been slow, but I've been taking that time to continue to work in the direction that I really care to work towards. And that direction is to help other people start learning how to change their life, while also experiencing and strengthening changing my own life, which I have been, but I feel like I have been for long enough now to where I can actually start sharing, and I can actually start guiding other people now through sharing these honest emotional experiences. And a part of that, like I said, I want to be the kind of person that I would like to be around. And I would like to be around healthy, committed, honest, respectful, developed. So, you know, their self-worth, value, you know, you give you self-respect, things like that. So I want to be around people who are healthy, who have a clear mental mentality, you know, who have a vision, people who have goals and are focused, who have very clear ideas of what kinds of things they want in their life. And so I am also working on myself to become that person and to be that person. And I am becoming, and I am being that person. Absolutely. And you have to start somewhere. And so with that being said, it's an interesting experience emotionally. But if anybody is ready to change their life, and what I want to also make clear, which I've been trying, and I think I've done a pretty good job at it in this video, is that forget about what you're like your idea of what you should be or shouldn't be at the moment. You are where you have come. You are what you are. Like I said, I'm 28 years old. It took me so long to realize, for various reasons, that's a whole nother story, and I'll mention that in other videos. But being young, trying to hold on to the past, trying to hold on to what I was comfortable with, my relationship, my environment, my surroundings, everything that I've always known since I was basically a kid, trying to hold on to that, being resistant to change, not wanting to let go of the past, not wanting to let go of my comforts. That's what kept me stuck for so long. And I'm not trying to blame nothing or no one. I'm just trying to acknowledge it and be honest. And then acknowledging it and being honest is what's helped me be ready to move forward and make changes. So it might have taken me a while. And 28, a lot of people might say, man, you're still so young. Good thing you're noticing those things now. But also I have children. And also, like I said, I have pretty high expectations with myself, and I put pressure on myself. I always have, and I need to. That's the way I feel. I need to take care of my family, and so I need to improve myself. And I'm ready to be around environments where we're taking care of other people too, and teaching other people how to do these things, and making progress, and strengthening ourselves so that we can help others, and so on and so forth, and our families and our communities, etc. So that's why I'm working on the things I'm working on. You can look through my YouTube, you can look through my Instagram, kind of get a better idea of how I'm doing that. And